And there's the Matumba man Pudge right up at the front.
Big boy.
Nice beard.
Pudge is nice on Liquid. You can flex it between Mickey and Matu as well. Like they did that at Arlington a couple times, mostly when Matu would get his Lone Druid and play it mid against a puck, and they would give Mickey something like Pudge, and he was really good on it.
That's always nice to have. Let's see what DGG get up to. Should be pretty set in their lanes with his Chen Morphling, Mars Lena, and Queen of Pain in the mid. And what did it start with Mangoes? Did nice, yes. 2 Mangoes, get those early raises, secure range creep, get fast bottle. And Liquid all grouped up in that mid lane. Quite early on. I'm always really interested by these jungle wards. We see it more and more often. I guess more apt name is the Outpost ward. Watching for anyone like rotating in, and I guess that's primarily Earthshaker's job. Going to be moving from that bot lane in towards mid, looking for the Fisher block to allow raises to land.
Yes, it's definitely hard though, isn't it? Into Queen of Pain with that blink,
Yeah.
They should never really be able to secure a kill unless she goes really aggro on SF and they punish it.
I guess it's also the Chen having, you talked about it previously, right? Having that medium camp vision. So Lodian doesn't actually have to leave the lane and go up high ground to take creeps. He's got the vision of them from low ground.
Yeah. When I look at Liquid's draft though, I am just thinking that it's quite hard for them to go aggro really. Shaker rotating with the Fisher is not going to be able to do that much. To someone like a Queen of Pain, Omni Knight is a very, very passive support. You have this SF who isn't going to make plays. It depends on his build. Is he going for this right-click build that we've seen a lot more prominently? Is he going to go for the Yules and maybe look for those kills? This game seems way more of Zai using DP to force objectives and assert himself on the map, and them just playing aggressively with, I'm Zai, I'm up front, I'm standing in your jungle, and there's nothing you can do about it because there's a Shaker covering me with Fisher and an Omni Knight with Repel, right?
Yeah, it definitely looks and feels much more like the 5-man death balls. As Lodian, is he dead there to the final hit of Zai?
Okay,
First
Boxy.
blood picked up already thanks to that. Yeah, Boxy Fisher. I think you've hit the nail on the head. Liquid don't really have the best in playmaking. Very much set up on an objective, play this 5-man death ball, and look towards Roshan. With DP and Shadow Fiend very adept at doing that. While DGG much better in terms of actual rotations and smaller moves, smoke ganks, things like that. Mars, Lena, Queen of Pain, all very good trying to catch and kill.
Even for them, it's like a little hard, I would say, just because you don't have that mobility support in a Marcy rebound or a Dawnbreaker hammer that can kind of catch up. You are super relying on Mars to get someone in an arena or get his blink and spear back into a Lena stun. Lena's not exactly a very fast hero, so if they smoke into the jungle, for example, and find Pudge, is she going to be able to catch with the Light Strike Array? The range isn't that long. It could be quite rough for them, potentially, but if you bring this Quap into the mix and it becomes a lot easier.
That's true.
Yeah, it's just a lot of heroes to commit. Hopefully I'll be proven wrong, but you are right in saying that DGG it's much easier for them to execute moves early, I would say.
Yeah, they do need those items up. I was watching this mid lane, like MTD does have a point in blink to get away, but Mickey really putting the pressure on very early on. We're going to need more regen, more like salves and stuff for this Quap. Actually, he's going to get a water rune, but I don't feel like that's going to be enough with level 2 raises already up. Another Fisher block bottom, this time trying to catch the Morphling. Pleb, still level 2, so doesn't have a wave form to escape from it. Something that he will be looking forward to in the future, though. And as Lodian Chen doesn't have access to too many jungle camps. A couple of them have been blocked out. So going to be a struggle for him to get any creeps.
Great. He would always block the medium camp and the small camp when playing on Radiant as well, just because it totally limits what Chen can do and allows them to play up really aggressively. You see how the Shaker bought a bunch of regen and stuff. It's because he wants to play in the lane and just be able to trade and do well with his DP. Because Morphling doesn't like to trade. He's this hero that a lot of people see as quite threatening because, okay, well, he's hard to kill. He more strength. I don't like it. But really, if you're hitting him so much and you're forcing him to have to morph strength, it means that he's gonna have a much harder time CSing, so you can out CS him and just make his life really miserable.
Yeah, and really make it very uncomfortable. Already, Zai has this Falcon Blade. That's a very quick one out of this Death Prophet. Helped out with that first blood, of course.
Yeah.
Gonna have mana regen for days. Already focusing down on these little harpies of Lodine. This is where, you know, Earthshaker does start to rotate. He got rid of that Radiant Observer Ward that could have scouted him. And he's starting to lurk in towards mid. There's another nice Radiant Obs there, though, that can actually catch a glimpse of him if he moves a few steps further forward. MTD, always going to have that blink. And like you said, it'll be a challenge to actually kill her. So his main job there, just to grab the water rune, make sure she doesn't have another free refill.
That's good. Good impact.
It feels like this is where SF starts to push ahead, though. He's got all these Necromastery stacks. Last hitting his MTD's quap starts to become much more challenging. But I guess Mickey shoving the wave with Razors with no small camp. Like, what do you do as the SF? Do you go farm large and medium camp back in your top jungle? Like
That's a great question.
Lodine, okay, they're fine.
I'm not a mid player, so I honestly have no idea how to play this stuff now that there's no small camp. I'll be watching mid with a lot of interest. I'll let you know in 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll just watch and find out. It's a learning experience. I mean, look at this, Mickey. Couple of Razors, MTD. Incredibly challenging lane. Going for the boots as well, just to try and have a bit more move speed to escape. Oh, Boxy, was he going for a little courier snipe? Misses out on it, so takes a few tower hits on his way out of that bot lane. Zai going to get pummeled, though. Chen and Morphling finally getting on top of her, but the Spirit Siphon heal and the turnaround on Chen, Zai gets the upper hand. And the Vul Assassin, he's got minus healing. But it doesn't do enough against this Death Prophet with that flat damage heal coming out of Spirit Siphon.
Yeah, nice try. Nearly got him. It's so hard to kill these DPs, and he with all that gold, having a Falcon Blade, he's so tanky and hard to kill. And him leaving now gives Boxy just a nice little free lane. I have noticed, looking back at this mid lane, it does just feel like everyone has kind of given up on the idea of being able to do anything. It takes way too long to get to any camp. You can't stack, you can't farm them. You're just really hardcore relying on just staying in lane. So it looks like they just push the wave and then go back and block to try and get a good lane position for the next wave.
And sometimes in Mickey's case, dive under enemy tier 1 to deny some creeps against the quap.
Yeah.
Top jungle, maybe next time's being chased down. It does land that light strike around Insania. We've not looked too much at this top lane. It's been pretty quiet up there. Omni Pudge, not really a killer threat lane. And it feels like this Mars Lina, maybe they could have had a bit more action, but against, I guess it's two tanky strength heroes. And how do you kill him?
You don't, you farm. Everyone farming.
Yeah, farming pretty well. 32-13 on that Mars. He's out ahead of Matu. So own me with a double brace of Soul Ring. Gonna have a pretty quick blink dagger for him. I mean, it is a blink game, right?
It doesn't have to be. This like it's kind of a question to pose, right? If you have no initiation, do you buy initiation, or do you just play off the fact that you have no initiation and just kind of strengthen what your lineup is good at? Like on DGG Mars, you could just keep scaling like another core and try and wait for your Morphling's timings. As long as you are able to help defend towers and hold your map space, that could just be the most important thing. It really depends on if you feel like you scale better than Liquid.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
I think I would like to see him buy a Blink Dagger.
I guess then it puts you in a spot where you're forced to play aggressively, right? You don't. If you buy Blink, you kind of lose one of your options. Right? Whereas if you go rush BKB, now you can stand your ground, you can fight. You don't necessarily need to have that immediate jump. Oh, they're eyeing up mid lane.
Those 8-minute runes?
Yeah, they could bring in a lot of these supports in to guard them. Haste for Mika down bottom. Looks like Lina just leaving that top lane for the Mars to 1v1, getting some big stacks going now for that Radiant side.
Yeah. Liquid are doing a really nice job of securing mid with just the right amount of heroes for every rune. Like getting that early war rune, securing the power rune now. Oh. Okay, it's fine. MTD is the guy that needs to make all the moves for DGG's lineup. And we talk about how inactive they are. I think the biggest play they can do is either Liquid dive bot and they punish it, or Mars catches someone top and the Quap TP's in. They're just gonna smoke her down the bot.
And try and match what Liquid are bringing. Boxy still level 4, but a couple of raises off the back of that Fisher give Mickey a nice lineup on the kill on Chen. The heals and sustain and the haste now arriving. Mickey can chase in towards them. I mean, MTD has already spent his blink. They do take down Boxy. Looks like Mickey a little bit afraid, but the damage from Zai now arriving from the southern side. While Mickey turning with another couple of raises, but he's being brought down by MTD. Zai with a double kill, and Mickey saved up by Insania. Liquid get the 2-for-1. And Morphling the big ticket kill that they wanted. But it does slow down the push a little bit in this bottom lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
But are you happy with losing your carry?
No.
I don't know, Gary.
No.
I don't think so. They're still gonna push. They've made you feel uncomfortable. If I mean, Morph is gonna TP back to this bot lane. Maybe they just feel like all the spells were expended and they can just keep taking this.
middle tower is under
I think that's a fair assumption to me.
Right, just come in, clear out the creep wave. So he can try and chip away at that tower with just his right clicks. Yeah, a little pleb with his morbid mask, feeling pretty safe now.
Yeah.
Oh man, MTD, blink away quickly. There is a rune up top, a regen, something you'll be glad to see. But look at Matu, just coming straight forward, hooking the quad back into them and killing her off. Her blink was just coming off cooldown. Well, maybe next time. Is there another Fisher? 2 seconds. Light Strike Array is there from MMT, but Boxy is going to have this set up for Mickey perfectly and giving him a double kill out of nothing.
He's having such a good game. He is 1,700 net worth above Quap. Quap is feeling so pressured. Quap's rotations aren't working out. SF's are. Of all the heroes you expect to be rotating, he used that haste rune wonderfully. They're just keeping it up. I think Matu getting involved too. Just lovely moves. He kind of abandoned top completely, which means Onmi is having a free game. But we talked about his itemization. He is going to go for that BKB. So he is not going to have this spike timing where he can suddenly just make SF feel really scared.
Yeah, try and kill Boxy instead, though. Just a walk up, arena. Land it onto that Earthshaker. I guess it does make more sense. You know, we talked about these tanky heroes on Liquid. If you go for that Blink Dagger, you're already struggling to kill people off, then you're investing in having to land every one of your ultimates perfectly. And they will trade out these tier 1s. Both of the safe lane towers dropping quickly. And then you look into mid, and Mickey just pummeling the tier 1 there, forcing the glyph already. And Liquid can start to rally around their Shadow Fiend. Boxy, Matu moving into mid. Fisher and Hook will land on the Chen. Drag Lodine back into the Pudge himself.
Matu is just jungling near mid lane and then just keeps swinging around for free kills.
Oh, someone's showing. It's Hook time.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, second Exo.
is under attack.
Go in there. Nothing DGG can do to stop that. They are not prepared for the push. I need more time for this Morphling to keep on farming. This is a nice bit of map space for Liquid now, because they can now shut out the Morphling out of that bottom jungle, force him up towards top.
It's definitely limited options for DGG right now, especially, like, I'm just going to keep hopping on this Mars thing, but you don't want to feel really pressured to buy a Blink Dagger, because then you lose your own ability to scale. It's like the same kind of thought line as Dawnbreakers playing core and getting a Deso. Right? It's like, yeah, you can just rush a BKB, but maybe rushing the Deso so you have scaling damage is better. For Mars, it's kind of the opposite. You don't go this Blink, you go this BKB so you can scale and fight and be strong. Yeah, but it feels bad. It does feel bad. Like, you have to... At what point does this map start to constrict for them? Right now, it's okay. Morphling is able to find a little bit of farm, but eventually, Liquid, they'll get the next Exo, and then they'll use it for maybe a Roshan, or they get a BKB on Shadow Fiend, and they kind of just like walk it down, and you're kind of getting out farmed because they do have more map space than you right now. They've taken like your mid tower, and you don't have theirs. So Liquid will just slowly start to out farm you a lot more.
I think that's the big fear for me as well, is when Liquid flick that switch and say, hey, we're ready, are DGG going to be ready to fight back? Are they going to be in a position where they can actually battle?
Well, that's when you need your Mars BKB.
Yeah. And it's about 1,000 off it now. There's always DP, couple of hundred off hers, 600 away. And then Shadow Fiend working on his pretty quickly after that Dragon Lance. Double down Druid going, so he's farming quickly. Just coming back quickly about a minute or so, I really like the move Liquid did from taking that tier 1 mid. They swept through that bottom jungle very quickly. Like, they went to where the Chen is standing right now, and then they kind of stood around for a good 30 seconds waiting to see if anyone would come up the staircase, seeing if they could get a kill. And then they swept east, making sure that Morphling couldn't, farm from east to west, which you'd love to do, clear out all the camps, then move top. So it did ruin the rhythm of pleb a little bit. But Morphling now in the Ancient is going to be reasonably happy with where he's at, even though he's not quite hit 6k net worth yet.
This might be a slight result of Mars. They're clearly prioritizing Mars's farm over anything else right now. For what reason they feel like they need him to be the one with gold. Because usually your carry takes this top side of the map. You'll put some effort with the mid or whoever to take the tier 1 tower, and then your carry takes the triangle area and then takes this hard camp top, the lane there, the small camp, and then they just make like constant rotations through that.
Now Fisher into hook again. Doesn't make it any easier. Lena down. Mars trying to hide away and TP in the trees. Some very quick pings from Little Pleb saying, hey, let's push mid lane. But they've got other worries. Roshan's being taken by Liquid. And we saw this last night in the NA qualies. Shadow Fiend with these razors stacking up do a lot of damage, and they're going to...
How they do. He's dead. I miss you so much. It was so scary and dark and cold. I never thought I'd see you again. All alone. Oh, not the pause. What a DC. What a time. All right, let's break down exactly how this is gonna play out.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. So Podge has blinked in and thrown a hook. I don't even know what he missed. I think he missed Plebs. Plebs good. Maybe next time he's standing right on top of him. Let's see. Quap has no way to cancel. There's no dismember actually. So I guess Podge is just in. He's gonna pop his hood and just stand on top of Lena and pray. How far away is Omni Knight? Omni's quite far. All right, it's a battle of time. It's a battle of time. Can DGG blow up this Podge before the rest of the team can connect?
Well, Boxy has a blink, doesn't have Echo, But he could blink enchant, buy time for the Omni to come in. Requiem with fear could also push them away.
Yeah. He has got the shards, so he doesn't have to blink necessarily. Yeah. That one.
Strong owned me. Was that his first BKB? He's had it for a while, then uses it just to TP home. Well, actually, that's a lie. He TP's top to continue farming.
It's called the threat of the BKB.
Yeah, true, but they found another one. A small fling. He's been chain stunned. The hand of God doesn't heal him enough. A triple kill from a Tumbleman.
It's looking like a snowball here. I think DGG have made some nice moves. They are actively working their way towards their items. They have these nice deep wards down. They had one on the mid that they were playing around. They had one top too. And they've made the most use of it to try and keep the... Okay, loading's dead again. To make them... Oh, whatever. He's just a 10. Let him die. Let him die in peace. Don't acknowledge it. Don't perceive it.
Just let you keep on talking.
Yeah, just let him keep talking over his sad, sixth death.
But yeah, the fact they didn't have to use Exo for that fight means this entire lane of barracks is gone.
Yeah.
40 more secs for Roche, though.
Radiant's middle barracks.
They're just kind of peeking where they can cover each other really well. I think it's the sort of idea I thought that DGG were going for, but they kind of swerved off into this playmaking draft where I thought they were going to be a lot more active. But it felt like Liquid did such a good job of kind of stumping what Queen of Pain wanted to do, like matching her rotations, or not even matching her rotations, kind of out-rotating her.
And
Close.
Stupid creep.
Stupid creep, yeah. Getting all the runes. It's just everything kind of made the game super hard for him to play. And after that, it felt like they just sort of mellowed out and played really passive and were never really able to get their footing on the game.
Yeah, it felt like DGG needed a 5-man a little bit sooner. Get this Morphling involved, because Liquid are just roaming around together as a squad. Now, playing under their own vision, Scan doesn't connect on anybody. And DGG with a long wraparound, I don't think they're going to find anyone. If they do find someone, Liquid have that vision advantage to make the jump with Boxy's Blink and level 2 Echo Slam.
Yeah. We've seen this play out 100 times. If they push their smoke, try and go under that ward, it's scary.
Best lights out. I mean, Morphling already has to wave form away. Hook's not going to come in time. As they do jump into the back, MTD trying to aim for this Death Prophet. Purge and SF on the hook there from the Morphling, catching Mickey. Does get out his illusions, though, and BKB up means they'll dismember the Queen of Pain, bring her down pretty quickly with Mickey's overwhelming physical damage. So Liquid lose nobody. Queen of Pain dead for 45. And DGG on the run when Roshan's alive. Lodine
nice.
going for the push up top. Yeah, go steal some creeps.
Little smoke on smoke action there. For DGG, the idea was definitely nice. They put really good wards down to play off of, but Liquid smoked into them anyway and were able to get that Fisher off onto Lina, instantly forced one of the heroes of DGG out of the fight. And then Morphling got kind of gone on and was unable to connect to this Blink Mars arena onto Zai. The burst from Queen of Pain is just simply not enough damage to even come close to killing him. They needed this position where all their heroes could collapse on one person and get this burst off with the Queen ult, with the Laguna. Rest in peace, loading.
Another one. Just reeling them in.
I got a lot of grave tombstones right now. With one man's name on it.
Yeah. The newspaper tomorrow morning is going to be 20 obituaries with Lodine's name. He lived a long and fruitful life. MTD also going to follow him into the grave as well, as Liquid look for their second lane of barracks. Yeah, this feels like a foregone conclusion now. Little pleb just spamming the heal me.
Heal me.
No one can do that anymore. Chen's dead for 5.
How do you do that? Do you alt-click your health pool or something?
I'm not sure.
Because it's showing up for us, which makes me think it's like it's not
chat wheel line. I don't know exactly. I'm looking at my chat wheel right now. Yeah, there is a heal chat wheel line you can put on there. But it doesn't say heal me. It just says heal.
Oh.
SF. Oh, speared under tower, but he's got the pike. And that fear from the shard sending the Mars back into his base. Yeah, Liquid just going to go for a deliberate move back. No reason to push it any further forward there. They've already got the mid and the bottom. And you look at top, there's tier 1, tier 2 still standing. It's all about
Yeah.
just keeping that firm grasp on the game that they've built up.
For DGG, maybe they need to. Maybe their only hope is some kind of extreme smoke wraparound where they catch the back line, or maybe Liquid overextend and they get a spear back into like tier 4s or something. If you can get someone out of position, maybe that's your only real hope, because
Yeah.
Omni, as long as he's able to connect or is close in any way, it's so hard. He has this ether lens. He's getting a 4-star. They're gonna have more ways to save the longer this game goes on.
And that's what I kind of like about these three heroes, the Omni, Earthshaker, and the Pudge. If you go on the Omni, there's like an Echo Slam, right? There's the threat of the Echo blinking and saving the Omni Knight. Pudge can hook people around. So I struggle to see a world in which they actually kill anybody. You go on Omni, you get feared, silenced, blink echoed. You go on this Earthshaker, he gets healed up by Guardian Angel and Purification.
Yeah.
And Liquid just going to set themselves up to go high ground again. SF and DP straight towards the tier 3 and forcing the glyph pretty early on. Fresh creep wave with the catapults arriving soon as well. And Boxy, he just blinks straight on in towards that Lina, does Yules away. But the barracks now wide open. As Little Pleb will TP back to try and defend. Turns into the Pudge, but well, Hook hitting a creep. Not going to fulfill his dreams, while Owned Me does get the arena spear. But there's the heals and saves. They've got that Fisher with a shard and a blink echo from Boxy, catching and killing the Chen, while Owned Me just being ripped apart by the physical damage from Mickey. Pudge now able to rot him down, and the Sonic Wave, it'll push him around, but it's just lacking damage and cohesion here from DGG. Matu's far too strong with his BKB up. We'll walk back past the Fisher. Mega Creeps now on the cards. Another hook. Pleb drags the DP in, but she's still got her BKB. The Dismember on the Queen of Pain's going to break and destroy MTD. And Little Pleb now pretty much all alone to defend his tier 4s. They'll just call it. Game 1, a simple one for Liquid, straightforward. Lanes were solid, moves were solid, nothing extraordinary there. Just an all-round better team than DGG have felt in Game 1.
Yeah, that's just all there really was to it. Felt like all of Liquid's moves were a lot faster. That's usually the big thing between a tier 1 team and a tier 2, 3 team, whatever, right? It's just the Liquid are the first ones making the moves for the runes. They're the first ones making the rotations. They're